What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Thursday afternoon. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm bringing you some New York Mets free agency news around a player who was part of the team last year as part of the catching rotation, went to look at free agency, see if he could find himself a new home, and ended up circling his way back to the New York Mets as part of the catching rotation for 2023. And that, of course, is 30-year-old, 5'10", 195-pound catcher from Puerto Rico. And that, of course, is Michael Perez, who, along with James McCann and Tomas Nido, were part of the catching rotation for the New York Mets last season. And last year, for the New York Mets, Michael Perez played in 6 games overall for the New York Mets at the catching position, where he put together 18 hits along with 6 home runs and 14 RBIs, along with 10 runs scored, a 149 batting average with a 214 on-base percentage, of 296 slugging percentage, and a 511 OPS, in 121 at-bats overall. He was mostly known as a defensive catcher for the New York Mets, a guy that was pretty much organizational depth, not really brought in to be a starter or anything, not a lot of pop in his bat. Made a video on him about this time, about this time last year during the trade deadline when the New York Mets traded for him during the trade deadline in July of last year. But Michael Perez is pretty much organizational depth for the team, as they already have Omar Navarez on the team that they signed, pretty much going to be battling it out with Tomas Nido for the starting catching position at the beginning of the season. And obviously we have big-time prospect Francisco Alvarez, who might start the season in the minor leagues depending on how he looks going into spring training. So, Michael Perez is now back with the organization, signing a minor league deal with the New York Mets. He's pretty much here to be organizational depth at the catching position, probably just more of a defensive guy, maybe help out Alvarez in terms of trying to get his defense more up to par, since Alvarez seems like he's more ticketed to start out the season at Triple-A so far. So, right now, the Mets have 4 players at the catching position going into the 2023 Major League Baseball season. Michael Perez and Francisco Alvarez, most likely ticketed for Triple-A this year. And then you got Omar Navarez and Tomas Nido that are going to be splitting time at the starting catching position going into 2023. And then we'll have to find out how long it's going to take until top prospect Francisco Alvarez is able to snatch that catching position for the New York Mets. Now, be on the lookout, because on January 28th, this Monday, January 30th, the New York Mets are going to start their travels heading towards down to Port St. Lucie down in Florida this upcoming February, as the Mets are only a couple of weeks away from the start of spring training. And I'm going to try to give you guys as many spring training updates, positional battles, players that are going to have a chance to make the team, going over each position, the outlooks for 2023, all that kind of stuff. So be on the lookout. I'm going to have that kind of Mets stuff coming around February, mid to late February, and early March before we get ready for the 2023 Major League Baseball season. So just be on the lookout for that there's going to be a lot of New York Mets updates coming on in terms of spring training battles, players that have a chance to make the team, etc. So just be on the lookout for that kind of information that will be dropping on the channel over the time period in the next few weeks or so. So, the New York Mets have officially signed Michael Perez back as organizational depth to the roster for the 2023 Major League Baseball season. He's most likely ticketed to start the season at Triple-A Syracuse for the New York Mets as depth at the catching position. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYG Jeffy T85 for more breaking news, updates, chatter, and free agency news around the New York Mets. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short that will be dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Mets. And you guys let me know in the comment section what you guys are thinking about the catching position overall. Who you think deserves to start at the catching position this season? Would you rather see the young player, Francisco Alvarez, be the starting catcher going into the season? Would you rather see Omar Navarez or Tomas Nido be the starting catcher for the New York Mets? Or would you rather see a guy like Michael Perez, who's mostly just known for his glove on the team, maybe get a shot as a backup catcher with the Major League club at the main level for the New York Mets starting the season? Or would you rather him be ticketed for Triple-A, which is most likely what's going to happen for him at the beginning of the season? Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. Take it easy, and as always, let's go New York Mets. All you got to do is you got to believe in those boys from Queens.